From Wish TV and the All Indiana Podcast Network, this is the News 8 Daily 8 Podcast with Wish TV's Kylie Conway. A Wish TV News 8 update.
Hi, this is Kylie Conway, and this is your News 8 Daily 8 for Monday, February 7th. Some light snow showers are possible today from late morning to early afternoon, but little to no accumulation is expected. And it's going to stay cold with highs in the 20s. And most counties are still under travel restrictions this morning. There's a map from the Indiana Department of Homeland Security that shows most are down to yellow. That's the lowest level as an advisory. Marion, Hamilton, Hancock, and Montgomery counties have no restrictions. 15 counties are still orange, a watch asking that you only go out for essential travel. And today, final farewells to two fallen Carroll County deputies. Sheriff's Deputy Noah Rainey and Jail Deputy Dane Northcutt died in a crash just more than a week ago. Now the two are being laid to rest. Tributes have been pouring in on social media, including a powerful video made by an IMPD officer. The Boone County Sheriff's Office posted the video on Facebook early this morning after the funeral for Deputy Noah Rainey yesterday. Here's part of it.
Responding to a call, Deputy Rainey was involved in an accident. He and his passenger, Jail Deputy Dane G. Northcutt, succumbed to their injuries. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they will be called children of God. Carroll County Sheriff's Office Deputy Noah C. Rainey, 811, is 1042. He has gone home for the final time.
Deputies Rainey and Northcutt died in a single-car crash while on the job last weekend on State Road 26 in Sedalia. Yesterday, dozens of law enforcement officers from across the state went to the funeral for Deputy Rainey at the Delphi Community High School. The Marion Police Department also honored the deputies online with a tribute post, and so did the West Lafayette Police Department. Today, services for Jail Deputy Dane Northcutt are being held at the Solar Baker Funeral Home in Lafayette. The visitation starts at 11, and the funeral will follow at 1. A memorial fund is also set up for the deputies to help their families. If you would like to contribute to that, you can go to wishtv.com and look in the As Seen on Wish TV section, and then you'll find more information on how to do that. The newest pandemic numbers from the CDC show 212 million Americans are fully vaccinated against COVID-19. That's nearly 2/3 of the country. The agency reports more than 89 million have gotten a booster dose. And the CDC says Alabama is the only state below 50% vaccination. The Indiana State Department of Health says more than 56% of eligible people are vaccinated here. And as regulators consider opening up shots to younger children, health experts are reminding families of the risks of the virus.
Children are not immune to COVID. They hear constantly that it's a benign disease or a mild disease in children. And fortunately, for most, that's true. But we've had tens of thousands of children hospitalized due to COVID. Well over 1,000, unfortunately, have died.
Pfizer says children as young as 6 months might be eligible for vaccines as early as next month. The drug maker submitted its data to the FDA last week for emergency use authorization. Trash service in Carmel is expected to pick back up today after last week's winter storm. The city wants Republic to pay up for failing to run routes Friday. News 8's Adam Pinsker takes a look at the conflict.
Mayor Jim Brainerd said he sent out a press release telling residents that were supposed to have their trash picked up on Thursday that instead the trash will be picked up on Friday because of the snowstorm. Now it's being pushed back to Monday, and the city wants answers from its contractor, Republic Services. A disagreement over road conditions in Carmel during this week's winter storm is causing the city to seek $20,000 in damages from Republic Services for each day it fails to pick up trash from residents who are scheduled to have it picked up on Thursday.
Disappointing that a company that has won the trust of the taxpayers in our city refuses to perform their legal obligations.
Mayor Jim Brainerd says Republic and the city agreed those who are scheduled to have their trash picked up on Thursday would have it removed on Friday. But on Friday and Saturday, we found trash cans on residents' curbs filled with rubbish. In a statement, Republic said, quote, "The Republic Services team cares about the communities we serve, and the safety of employees and residents is our top priority. Due to the severe winter storm that has been affecting many areas across the country, we made an initial decision to suspend service on Thursday. We continued to monitor conditions in the forecast and determined that it would not be safe to operate on Friday. We are proud to serve the Carmel community and look forward to resuming service as soon as it's safe to do so." But Mayor Brainerd said the city streets were clear of snow by Friday, and there was no reason why Republic couldn't do its job.
I pointed out to them we'd had 92 snow removal vehicles in City Carmel. They'd worked all night. All 500 miles of our streets were down to the pavement.
The mayor said he offered to drive Republic workers into Carmel and lend them city vehicles to pick up the trash, but the company declined.
Republic's an $8 billion company that works all over the country. What happens in the winter in Minnesota, northern Michigan, northern Wisconsin? They get the trash picked up. This wasn't that big of snow.
Republic also told the city that in addition to weather issues, it did not have enough drivers on Friday to get the job done. Adam Pinsker, Wish TV, wishtv.com, and follow us on Facebook.
Police say they have a suspect in custody after a double stabbing. It happened just before 5 this morning at an apartment complex near 21st and College. IMPD tells News 8 both victims suffered cuts and that one victim went to the hospital. The other refused treatment. So far, police have not said who is in custody or what led to the stabbing. Today, jury selection begins in the federal hate crimes trial for the 3 men convicted of killing Ahmaud Arbery. Today's trial is happening in Brunswick, Georgia, near where Arbery was killed in February of 2020. Lawyers will try to prove that Gregory McMichael, Travis McMichael, and William Bryan chased down and shot the 25-year-old man because he was black. The McMichaels withdrew their guilty pleas last week after a judge rejected plea deals the man had reached. All 3 men were sentenced to life in prison last year. The president of France is in Moscow today in a new attempt to get Russia to pull its troops away from Ukraine. Ukraine's presidential advisor says the situation is completely under control. John Lawrence spoke to U.S. lawmakers and military leaders.
Satellite images taken Saturday appear to show an advance of Russian military deployments at numerous locations in Belarus, which shares a border with Ukraine and where joint exercises are due to begin this week.
These are dangerous times. Time is of the essence. This would be the largest invasion in Europe since World War II.
The Kremlin has repeatedly denied it's planning a Ukrainian incursion, but the U.S. and its allies are keeping close watch.
We believe that the Russians have put in place the capabilities to mount a significant military operation into Ukraine, and we have been working hard to prepare a response.
U.S. troops are heading to Europe to help defend European allies amid the standoff on Ukraine's borders. The Pentagon says 3,000 U.S. troops are going to Poland, Germany, and Romania.
There is no U.S. combat role in Ukraine. There isn't going to be one. I don't know of anyone who supports it, not even the Ukrainians. That said, I think that Vladimir Putin has to pay a high price if he does this.
That's a stance that has bipartisan support in Washington.
We hope to be able to show Mr. Putin that Democrats and Republicans in the Senate and the House and that the White House are united, that if he does do further incursions into Ukraine, he'll pay a very, very, very heavy price from the economic and point of view and the isolation politically.
I'm John Lawrence reporting.
President Joe Biden has declined to say whether he would consider deploying more U.S. troops to help the country's NATO allies if Russian President Vladimir Putin refuses to de-escalate tensions. In comments to reporters yesterday, Biden said he's not going to speculate. The House panel investigating the U.S. Capitol insurrection says it would not be out of bounds to subpoena former Vice President Mike Pence. In case you missed it, Pence said Friday that former President Trump was wrong to ask him to overturn the 2020 election. One panel member, Representative Zoe Lofgren, agrees.
The vice president in the Constitution is not allowed to select the next president. But the issue for the committee is getting all the facts. And we've said from the beginning, we will seek testimony from anyone if we need it. The question is, do we need his testimony? We have received substantial testimony that may make that unnecessary, but we're sorting through it.
The panel says it hasn't decided whether to subpoena Pence. Lofgren says that they might want Congressman Jim Jordan to come forward as well soon. This after White House records revealed a 10-minute phone conversation between Trump and Jordan the morning of January 6th. And President Biden plans to visit Israel before the end of the year. That's according to a readout of the call between Biden and the Israeli Prime Minister. The two talked yesterday about shared security and other challenges in the Middle East, including Iran. There's no firm word yet when the president's trip will happen. Joe Rogan will stay on Spotify. In a new open letter to employees, the CEO of the streaming service calls some of the podcaster's comments hurtful and says they do not represent Spotify's values, but that Rogan's show will remain. Rogan's future with Spotify has been in question since several musicians pulled their work from the service over concerns Rogan was promoting COVID misinformation. Then, last week, a video compilation emerged showing Rogan using racial slurs. Rogan apologized Saturday, and Spotify says it was his decision to pull more than 70 past podcasts off the site. The U.S. Coast Guard says 18 people were rescued from an ice floe that separated from land in Lake Erie. According to authorities, the sheet of ice broke away while people were snowmobiling. The Coast Guard says it used airboats and a helicopter to rescue the groups. It says that one of the airboats came from a Good Samaritan, and authorities say no one needed medical attention. Here in Indianapolis, summer camp registration is open through Indy Parks. There are 15 options ranging from arts to nature to science to sports. There are also adaptive camps for those with disabilities. Organizers say they'll have pandemic precautions in place, including masks, social distancing, and cleaning.
We try to make sure that it's a family atmosphere. We try to make sure that kids have fun, that they remain kids. You know, don't rob them of their childhood. Let them have fun. If they want to go out there and run and explore, let them go run and explore, because that's a part of childhood. That's a part of growing up.
So we're just really excited to get the word out that registration is open. There's a lot of different opportunities for kids at Indy Parks this summer. And if you can't afford it, look into scholarships. We really, really want to make summer camp accessible for as many kids as we can.
Camper ages range from 4 to 18. There are also scholarships for families with a financial need. A popular brunch spot in Zionsville is closing, citing staffing shortages. The owner of the Lemon Bar called the decision heartbreaking on Facebook over the weekend. She says that the Lemon Bar's desserts will continue, though, to be sold at the Flying Cupcake shops. A steel company is planning a $290 million expansion in Indiana. Nucor says it wants to add more production lines at its Crawfordsville plant. The project hinges on incentives and still needs the government's okay. The company says the expansion will take 2 years and add 80 jobs. 770 people work at the plant right now. To the Colts, several players for the Horseshoe made an appearance in last night's Pro Bowl to pick up a 41-35 win for the AFC. It's the conference's 5th straight Pro Bowl victory over the NFC. Running back Jonathan Taylor, center Ryan Kelly, and linebacker Darius Leonard all played in yesterday's game. It was Kelly's second Pro Bowl appearance and Leonard's third. And this all comes as the Colts change up its coaching roster. Wish TV Colts insider confirmed Gus Bradley will be the team's new defensive coordinator. And our sports director is headed west for our special Super Bowl 56 coverage. Anthony Calhoun arrives in L.A. midweek. He'll be live each day with reports leading up to Sunday, bringing us the Indiana stories connected to the big game. And Colts owner Jim Irsay is now the owner of a major piece of boxing history. Irsay picked up Muhammad Ali's famous walkout robe at an auction. Ali first wore the robe in his May of 1965 rematch with Sonny Liston in Maine. It's white with an embroidered name on the back, Muhammad Ali in big red letters. Irsay says that the robe represents a pivotal moment in Ali's career when he was criticized for standing up for religious freedom and against racism and bigotry. Finally, to the Pacers and a last-minute trade. Caris LeVert got on the bus to Cleveland, a Pacer, and walked into Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse, a Cavalier. The Pacers struck a deal with the Cavs to trade LeVert less than 2 hours before tip-off yesterday. The Pacers get Ricky Rubio and his expiring contract, a first-round draft pick, and 2 second-round picks. Head coach Rick Carlisle called LeVert a first-class pro and human being.
Trades happen, and it's all a part of it, but you rarely see a proposed trade where it's someone's going down the hall. The time that I've spent with him really over the summer has been special. He just he has a special impact on people. He has a sincerity and authenticity to go along with being a great competitor and a great basketball player. And we'll miss him.
The Pacers couldn't pull off the win. They lost to the Cavs 98-85. This has been your News 8 Daily 8 for Wish TV. I'm Kylie Conway. Online at wishtv.com and follow us on Facebook when you search Wish TV.
This is the News 8 Daily 8 podcast with Wish TV's Kylie Conway. A Wish TV News 8 update on demand. For even more, on demand and on the go. Connect with Wish TV on Facebook at wishtv.com and on the free Wish TV mobile app. Thank you for listening. And be sure to like, subscribe, and follow this podcast for updates every weekday morning on the All Indiana Podcast Network and wherever you get your podcast.